What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see what we got on the table today. So, super interesting part of the market we're in. If you guys remember, on Sunday, which was yesterday, I talked about these levels getting hit and the new week opening gap getting filled. You guys can see we're pretty much at the new week opening gap, but we do have a major sell side liquidity below. And we also have a very obvious daily fair value gap below it. So my guess, based on what I'm seeing here, is that we are probably going to be going down to that. Whether that happens today or in the next coming days, I think that that is probably where the market is headed. I'm going to be super careful with trading, especially today. It's a no news Monday. And I am not sure what's going to happen, but I do think that there's a potential for more downside here. I'm trying to look for equal highs to see if there's anything that we can target intraday. But based on what I'm seeing here, tough for sure. So, yeah. I have a strange feeling that we're not going to get any really good longs. Wow. N phase is dumping. So I sold the 67 puts on N phase, so I might get filled on these, which I'm happy about. I don't like that we're completely collapsing below the volume imbalance, but we will see what happens with this stock. I will be cutting this position if we get below a monthly close below 58. So we'll see what happens with that. So, I mean, immediately looking at this 5-minute, I don't like what I'm seeing here. We are bouncing very nicely from a new week opening gap, but just based on past experience, I mean, first of all, there is a 1-minute IFVG here, right? We are getting this, but doesn't really look great to me. Yo, what's up, Gear Grind? Good morning, bro. So it is possible, guys, that we do go higher from here, but there's not really an optimal target for me. And yeah, I just suggest being very careful. When this type of thing starts happening and we start breaking structure, we're not showing any support from these new week opening gaps. We didn't show any support really from this low. What's likely to happen is that we're going to end up at this daily fair value gap, in my experience. Now, the way we get there can be tough. So you have to be careful with where you're just blindly longing or shorting. But yeah, so you can see that this is a daily high that we're likely to get to now. I mean, we could completely reverse beforehand, but already positionally, I don't like where we are. I don't really like where we are for shorts, but I also don't really like where we are for longs. It's a tough spot to be in for sure. So in theory, if we are bullish, obviously we should react from this fair value gap right here. Is it off? Oh, sorry guys, hold on. It should be on. Can you guys hear me better now? Hello. Hello. All right, go. Can hear fine. Still low. Hello. That should be better, guys. And if it's too loud, just turn down your speakers. Yeah, so the first thing I would look for here, guys, is equal highs. I don't see any perfect equal highs forming anywhere. If I look at the 15-minute chart, first of all, I want to look at the hourly, okay, guys? So, okay, you can see, obviously, we're in these two sets of new week opening gaps after taking sell side. I do think this sell side is coming, okay? And then again, I do think this daily fair value gap is coming as well. My guess is that they're going to try and induce traders to the long side, and they're going to reject the market. However, if we get a change in structure in the next hour, let's say we close above this fair value gap in gray, It's the hourly fair value gap. That to me is going to signify that we're going to go up to other buy side. So we have to be very attentive to where we are in the markets and what could potentially happen. Delete some of this stuff. And obviously we do have these data highs above us, and we have equal highs. This is like ultimately going to be my draw, and I'm hoping that maybe we get a bullish. Ugh, there's echo. Why would there be echo? Hold on 1 second, guys. Can you guys hear me now? Is there echo? There shouldn't be echo. Yo, what's up, Kay? Good morning, bro. So if this 1 minute inverses, we should go up to buy side. Again, guys, just based on where we are, I'm hesitant to take longs, but we're so low that it's tough for me to take shorts. And the fact that we have this obvious sell side liquidity below us, yes, we are bouncing out of new week opening gaps, but structurally we are super bearish. I can hear you, but that mic has to go. This is a brand new mic. This is a brand new mic, guys. Can anybody else hear echo, or is it just gear grind? Let me know what the quality's like. Good, it's new. Then you can get your money back. True. But if you're the only one hearing echo, then I'm not going to return it if it's just something on one person's end. So let me know, guys. Does anyone else hear echo on the mic? And is this the first time you're hearing it? Because I've had this mic for the last, I don't know, 3 weeks. What is this? Sunny Day says no echo. So it's just you, Gear Grind. It's not crypt. I don't know what that means. All right, guys, I'm getting back to the charts here. So you can see here we did come almost up into this 1 minute fair value gap, but we wicked. If this inverses, I'm going to guess we get more downside. Now, we could have some manipulation up, wick again. But again, guys, just being honest with you, structure-wise, I don't like where we are in the markets. It's a no news Monday. So I don't really love the spot that we're in. So what I'll be probably trading on today is evals. If not that, paper. I am on an eval account right now. I'm not going to be trading on cash. I mean, regardless, my cash accounts are always on other screens, but well, sometimes I will put a cash account here. Most of the time I'll be trading with fundeds on the screen for you guys. I just don't want to be trading and risking live funds on a day like this. I'm just telling you guys right now, I've seen this type of situation happen before. There's so many different scenarios that play out. We could go up, we could go down, but on the 1 minute time frame, I don't see anything that's A+. I don't see equal highs. I don't see anything obvious. We did inverse an hourly, but you can see here we're trading into this hourly now, so this could just be a short. Maybe we get some kind of an intraday long up to here, and then we get a reversal within this hourly fair value gap, maybe at the top of it. So we'll have to really be cautious with what we're taking. Like you guys see this tiny 1 minute fair value gap as an inverse, I would never take this. It's too small, and you can see here they're not really giving any opportunities to enter. If you enter here, right, and the fair value gap is down here, first of all, this is likely to wick a bunch, like all over the place. And then your RR to get to here is so tiny. It's just not worth it. There's so many better fair value gaps, guys. You have to learn to be patient and take the right one. On the 3-minute, you can see there's no really good fair value gaps that are being left here. It looks like we're trading into this fair value gap right here. What stock is this? Sunny Day. This is NQ. This is the NASDAQ. Guys, for you, maybe if you guys are new here, I don't know if you are, but I trade futures. The reason I trade futures is because the tax benefits trading futures are much better. On prop firms, they're not better because you have to pay, like, I believe it's through a 1099. But on your cash accounts, you get a lot better tax incentives. You get taxed at 60% long-term capital gains and 40% short-term capital gains. So it's just a lot better for tax purposes. Also, the setups that come from futures are significantly better. It's a much better, it's just more accurate. The equal highs, the new week opening gaps, everything you can do with futures and with TradingView implemented is so much better. Okay, so there's that internal buy side. Again, there was no entry for this trade. Even on the 2-minute, there's not anything A+ as far as fair value gaps are concerned. We still have London low right here. So I'm going to get rid of these sell side liquidities, but you guys can realize that we smoked them. It's this low and this low right here. But ultimately, this is the low that I'm going to be targeting for the longer term now that we've had this break of structure. So I'm going to guess, and I'm not certain here, I'm going to guess that we reject from somewhere in here. Now, easily we could come up, but there's no setup for me to take a long here. There's no 1-minute for value gaps that I like. This was okay, but we closed all the way up here. So does that make sense to take? Absolutely not. And then as far as a target to the upside, I mean, we have no equal highs. We do have this low resistance liquidity, this trend line, but it doesn't look A+ to me. Sunny Day, was that a joke, by the way? What stock is this? Because I think you've been in here before. Tesla having a pretty big push on the day. I like to see that. AMD, guys, if you have not added AMD and you're looking for a long-term swing trade, or not even a swing trade, a long-term position, I think AMD is great in this monthly fair value gap. Anywhere in here is going to be good ads, in my opinion. So my heaviest ads are going to be at 111 if we get it. And then I'm just going to hold it for the long term. Celsius looks decent. Enphase, this one does not look great. I wanted to see a lot more bullish behavior from here, but we want to see what happens at this low. Okay. So if this 5-minute inverses, it looks a little bit better. Okay, we did sweep liquidity to the downside. And yeah, I mean, this looks okay. Not going to lie. And we should go to this high and this high. I'm not going to enter it on this account. This is an eval account, guys. It's a 300K, and I'm at basically 317,000. So I'm going to be waiting on this account to take an A+ setup because I don't have much drawdown left. I'm pretty sure you get $6,500 worth of drawdown, and you need to make $20,000 on the account. So I took this from 300 to 316. I got 3,000 left. So I'm not going to take this setup personally. If you would like to, you can, but I don't think it's A+. Sunny Day. No, I was serious. This is my first live and I only trade with Robinhood. Oh. So Sunny Day, if you trade with Robinhood, I don't know if Robinhood offers futures yet. Does anybody know if Robinhood offers futures? So you guys can see the close above, and now this high and this high should come next. Now, I would move my stop to break even here because it is a no news Monday, and we can easily manipulate, so just be very careful. But we should, in theory, hit this high and this high. Excuse me. Yeah, so Sunny Day, if you're in Robinhood, I don't know if you can trade futures, but if you're looking to get good information from these live streams for day trading, you should probably use another broker. Also, I don't think you can trade Robinhood on your computer. I'm completely clueless with Robinhood. It's one of the worst brokerages, in my opinion, to use if you're trading. It is very user-friendly, but I use Charles Schwab for my brokerages, and then this is This is for a prop firm, so it's connected through Apex Funded Trading or funded trader. I don't know how they word it, but so we came just up to the high. Did we form equal highs here? I think we missed equal highs by a tick. And you can see that we are rejecting from here. I think ultimately, guys, really, I'm being honest, the draw for me is going to be lower and into this daily fair value gap. Gear grind. You open the stream on two platforms, so that was I think okay. At least we figured out that. Okay, guys. So again, I've been trading for a long time, and when I see something that just doesn't really, like light bulbs do not go off in my head with this price action. Like you'll know, guys, when structure is good, it's good. When it's meh, or when it's mid, or when you've seen something similar and it just like it doesn't really behave the way that you liked it to the last time. Like this type of setup, I don't like this. And I think this is meant to induce traders to the long side, and then they're going to dump the market. Now, whether that's true or not, there's a few different models that can play out here. But my ultimate draw for today and probably the middle of this week until maybe Wednesday. So I'll tell you guys why. Let me open up Forex Factory here. So you guys can see here it is. So if you guys need this, if you guys ever want to see what the week is going to be like and how the week is likely to behave, no worries, Gear Grind. Go on to forexfactory.com and filter it to USD. Take off all the other currencies and click apply. That is going to show you what news we're going to have this week. And it's going to show you likely where the market is going to move. So today is Monday. There's no news. And we have PPI, CPI, and unemployment claims. All these red folder news things. Sunny day. So to day trade, depends. If you're a new day trader, I would definitely suggest using a prop firm first. If you guys are in the Discord, I have a link on the top to there's like an affiliate link to Apex. You get like a 80% off code. But if you don't have that, I mean, you can use look online. There's tons of codes. I think, there's tons of 80% off codes that you can use. But I would suggest going to a prop firm. Apex Trader Funding is the one that I use. And then My Funded Futures. Either one works. And then you link your Tradeovate to it, and then you connect that to TradingView. Whoops, sorry guys, I just exited out of that. But let me pull it up again. But pretty much when you look at Forex Factory, red folder news is your highest impact news. So the market moves the most with these. Yellow is basically nothing. Orange sometimes moves the market, depending. Crude oil sometimes moves the market. Fed speakers, like an FOMC member, if this was orange, it would move the market. But so basically these red folders are the most important. So tomorrow, on Wednesday, I will be live streaming in the morning as well as tomorrow at 8:30. So 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So the fact that we have no news today and we have 2 big days, basically 3 big days this week, I'm expecting nothing to happen today. It's basically a spot where I think that liquidity is being generated in the markets. And yeah. So this actually looks pretty good for a downside move. I'm not going to lie. Did we form equal highs here? No, we did not. So what I think is going to happen here, guys, is we'll probably close below this 1 minute fair value gap, and then we'll dump all the way back down to sell side and maybe lower. Well, maybe we'll take out London low. I'm not going to put money on that trade because I'm just not going to short when we're this low. But I'll just let you know what I think is going to happen. This is a time that I'm going to be tape reading. So pay attention to this. If we get this PD array, this 1 minute fair value gap to close below on the 1 minute chart, right? If we get a body close below here, then you can, in theory, take a short. And then your stop to break even would honestly be at this low. And then hold it all the way down to sell side. But I'm telling you guys right now, this is the type of day right now that I'm seeing. It's much better to sit on the sidelines and tape read It's a no news Monday, and we're building up liquidity for the remainder of the week. So you will see that likely price action today will be bad. It won't deliver to where you want it to go, to the sell side and to the buy side. And that is genuinely because the algorithms are creating liquidity that they can then run later on for the rest of the week. Ooh. Another position I'm looking at is Nike, guys. And it's in a spot that I want to add more to. But anyways, let's go back to the charts. Has anybody, okay, I'm curious, has anybody taken a trade today? So right now, guys, because I'm probably not going to be trading this live, we'll see if a setup comes that's too good to ignore, I will. But if anybody has any stocks they want me to go over, if you have any trades that you took that you want me to go over, let me know. And I want them to be ideally fair value gap trades, inverse fair value gap trades, fair value gaps involved with liquidity. If it's just a random trade, I will call you out on it. And I will tell you you're being a degenerate. So you guys can see here how the 1 minute fair value gap is acting perfectly. So maybe this is going to be used to the long side. I don't know. But again, not an optimal spot to be trading. And I explained to you guys why. It's a no news Monday, and we have some major sell side liquidity below that we still want to target. Right? If we look back, we have this low right here. Yes, we're bouncing out of a new week opening gap, but I don't really care about that right now. And then we have the daily fair value gap and more new week opening gaps below. So I'm guessing if the market is going to reverse on the month, it's going to be somewhere in this pool of liquidity right here. Right? I told you guys already, the daily fair value gap. If you guys don't use fair value gaps, you need to start using them. They are literally like a cheat code in the market. They're like a footprint that the market gives you. It's a hint. If you draw the first three candles here, you see the wick of this one to the wick of this one. There's a big body. And in here, there are unfilled orders to the buy side. So anybody who went long in this whole leg, there's tons of unfilled orders in this fair value gap. So the algorithms are likely to drive price into the fair value gap to rebalance price before going higher. So my guess is that either we're going to sweep this liquidity or enter into this daily FVG, and then we're probably going to come back and target these data highs and the equal highs right up here. So from this, let's say you find some kind of a long setup in here, you're looking at a 700 point move back up to buy side, which is wild. On one NQ contract, let's look at this. On one NQ contract, purchasing, if you enter a trade right here and you hold it as a swing, that's a $12,000 move. And the wild thing is that this could potentially happen in the next few days. Probably I'm going to guess that we maybe come down and sweep some of these lows before CPI on Wednesday morning, and then we'll probably have an upside move. That's my guess. Again, am I putting any money on that yet? Absolutely not. But just keep an eye out. Okay, so again here, we are pushing out of this 1 minute fair value gap, and there's no fair value gaps to the upside. So am I taking a trade here? Absolutely not. It's not an A+ setup. But what's more likely to happen here now that we've bounced out of this bullish fair value gap is likely to target this high and then buy side liquidity above. On the hourly, we're potentially forming an OB here. So yeah, my guess is that we're coming up to this buy side now. Wow, guys, Tesla's back up to 391. It was looking grim this morning. Okay, so there's the push up to buy side. And now what's probably going to happen is either a rejection here or we fill the hourly and then we come down. That's what I'm assuming will happen here. Now, it is possible, guys. It is possible that we form a low today, but I doubt it. It's possible, but I'm thinking that more downside is to come. And for those of you wondering what I'm drinking, it's just water with creatine. Okay, so an immediate rejection from buy side. Again, no fair value gaps here. If there was a nice 1 minute fair value gap here, I would like to see a short. That would have been really nice actually. After sweeping buy side liquidity, getting a 1 minute inverse to the downside would be nice. Let's quickly take a look at some other stocks, see what the rest of the market is doing. Whoo, mRNA. Is this Moderna? What happened to Moderna? They just got collapsed. Oh, big gap down. We look at the monthly. Ooh. Wow, thank God we didn't invest in these vaccine companies. Palantir down 3%. So this is a short that I actually called, guys. If you look at the 4-hour chart, I called it a short on a Palantir on X. We traded into this monthly fair value gap. Now, guys, I don't short personally. I don't short stocks, but I did call this for somebody who does short stocks as a potential idea. But we traded into this 4-hour fair value gap, and we got another 4-hour inverse right here. So once we closed below on this candle, that was the entry for the trade, and you can see we dumped all the way down to all these sets of sell side. I think 58 is next. So we'll see what happens with that. End phase, obviously not doing so well. Shopify, not doing so hot. What's doing well in the day? Okay, Nike's getting a push. I like to see that. Oxy, guys, this is another stock that we added in the Discord. I will show you guys actually. But we were adding in this whole 3-month fair value gap. I told you guys that anywhere below like $50 is going to be a good add. Let me see where I put that in the Discord. Oxy. Yeah, so if you guys look in the Discord here, on December 9th, when Occidental Petroleum was down here, I said that I was adding more shares and selling puts. So got some good DCA into there, and you can see from that point, we were down here, we're all the way up back to $52. So we're printing on this position, so congrats to anyone who's in that. But yeah, so you guys can see here after buy side liquidity was hit, we're now rejecting. My guess is that this low is coming now, but there is no fair value gap for me to take here. So I will not be taking this, guys, but just know that we are likely to go here. Gear grind, what do you think about the M2 and M3 IFVG on NQ? They all work. They're all good. This actually doesn't look half bad. This 2-minute fair value gap doesn't look bad, but again, guys, just based on the nature of today, not really keen to take it. Keen, if you guys don't know, for the non-South Africans, keen is like I'm not really up to take it, right? I have a cousin who says that a lot, so. But yeah, the 3-minute looks decent too if we close below, but this low is very likely to hit now, in my opinion. We're just too low. Like, the reason I don't want to short this, guys, is because we have a huge dump. We've had a huge dump the last however many days this is. We're in heavy discount. It's very difficult for me to want to long, but I mean for me to want to short because we're so close to this sell side liquidity, but I also don't want to long because I want this to be targeted. So basically, guys, what I'm looking for here is just to allow the market to do its thing until we get to our London low and our sell side liquidity and the daily fair value gap. But in theory, if you guys are looking for a short, if you're a scalper or whatever you are, this 2-minute inverse does not look bad to the downside. We swept buy side here. We swept this buy side. We're in an hourly fair value gap. What will probably happen is maybe we come back into the hourly and then reject, or we just reject from here. But it's just not A+. And I told you guys already, this is a eval account that I brought to 316K or 317K. I need it to get to 320. and I have very little drawdown left. So I'm not going to be taking anything on this account that's not A+. I want to pass this 300K, so I'm only going to take A+ setups. This to me is not A+ positionally where we are in the market. But yes, Jose, in theory, we are targeting shorts here. We got a beautiful 3-minute inverse and a 2-minute, like Gear Grind pointed out right above. This is where your stop should be moved to break even if you're in this trade. Stop to break even when this low gets swept and just let it run. Take a partial here, take a partial here. But yeah, your stop from this trade would be, I mean, depending on which time frame you entered on, it would be, like in this case, a 3-minute close back above the inverse fair value gap. But the tough part is here, guys, that if you were to short this, right, on the 3, we have a bullish 3-minute fair value gap here. So what could happen here is we basically could come very close to this low, hold the 3-minute, and continue higher. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's just not A+. Like, this is not an A+ setup. It looks really good, but there's a lot of different things that I don't like. And you guys will see, when I see something A+, and there's very little that's... Basically, I'm very pessimistic when it comes to trading, guys. Before I enter a trade, I think of all the things that I don't like about the trade, and that often gets me not to take it. But when I see something that's so good that I can't even be pessimistic if I try, that is a setup that I take. So you guys can see here, we came very close to the sell side. We haven't hit it yet. So what could easily happen is we come all the way back up, stop some traders out, then go down. Just not a good spot to be in. I'm telling you guys right now. But you guys should try and take this approach as well. Be super pessimistic about your trading, okay? Basically, look at basically get a very good sense of what your model is and become an expert at it, and then basically nitpick every single trade. Why is this good? Why is this bad? And just look for every single thing that you don't like, and just don't take a setup until it's so good that you can't even spot anything that's bad about it. And I'm telling you right now, if you do that, you guys are going to have such a better win rate. You're going to take way less trades. You're going to go on tilt way less, and you're going to get A+ setups. But for those of you that are maybe just tuning in, understand that right now, my draw for the market is lower. You can see here we've been making lower highs and lower lows. And structurally, we should be aiming for sell-side liquidity. And this daily fair value gap is where I really have my eye. If we can get here, for example, let's say we get here today, I think there will be an excellent long setup that comes from this daily fair value gap. But basically, guys, I'm being patient and waiting for potentially this low to be swept, right? This sell-side liquidity major on the daily, and we should get some kind of an excellent setup within this range. So just learn to be patient, guys. Don't try and take every single setup, especially like I showed you guys earlier. It's a no news Monday on Forex Factory. So, but yeah, so far these shorts are working, and we will see what happens here. If you are in shorts, obviously your stop should be to break even if you enter on this candle. And then I would take a partial at this low and then a partial at this low if you get the opportunity to do so. Oh, did we leave equal highs here, guys? Let me see. Nope. So you can see here we swept this liquidity by 1 tick. And look at the rejection we got afterwards. It's pretty crazy. Oops. Let me look at ES quick and see what we're doing on ES. So ES is a little bit stronger than NQ, not by much. But we can see here, let me see, that was a London high. No, I mean, they're about the same, give or take. ES is a little bit stronger. You can see that we tapped up to this buy side. I think we left equal highs here, or missed the buy side by a tick there. This high never hit this high, right? If we push this forward, you can see that we never targeted it. We missed it by a tick, and now we are rejecting. Yeah, tough spot to be in, guys. I'm not going to lie. um, and you guys see I'm just scanning through different time frames to see if something pops up that I missed before. You can see the hourly fair value gap that I have in gray here, but you can also see we're rejecting from a 15. But yeah, telling you guys right now, once you look at the markets long enough and you have enough screen time, you will know what's a good trade and what's not. Now, where do I think the market's going from here? I think this is a downside move. I think. But there are so many different things that I don't like regarding shorts. Number one, I told you guys this so many times already, but we are in discount of the range. Okay, if you draw Fibonacci from the low of this range to the high of the range, whoops. Hold on, let me make sure I have it in the right spot. We are in discount, right? Premium is in this section right here, and we're in discount. I love to short the market in premium and long the market in discount. Okay, so I'm not looking for shorts right now. But that doesn't change the fact that I believe we are going lower. Okay, but the RR here is not great. And there's very high chances that the market pushes higher first to stop out shorts before going lower. So do you guys understand why I'm not shorting here? Especially on it. I mean, most eval accounts I will be happy to short with less confluence, but because we are so close to passing this account and I have little drawdown left, right? $6,500 of drawdown to make $20,000. I'm a lot more hesitant to take trades here. But regardless, you should always keep that practice in mind, right? You shouldn't be shorting the market in discount of the range. You should be shorting in premium and longing in discount. So what I'm waiting for is for the sell side liquidity and the daily fair value gap to be balanced, right? I want to see the market come down into the sell side, maybe into the daily, and then get a setup from there to go higher. And my target for the week is going to be these equal highs and the data highs above. So that is what I will be looking for. Now, CPI on Wednesday is probably going to be what moves the market up here, if it's going to happen. So if you guys are looking for a really good live stream where I'll be taking trades with good size, I think CPI Wednesday will be the best day. You can see here now, guys, if you were in this 3-minute short or this 2-minute short, you got stopped out at break even, most likely here. And what may happen here is we're going to go back up to buy side and fill the hourly fair value gaps high. So we could even come all the way back up to buy side here, touch the hourly, and then reject. I mean, there's so many different scenarios here. We could use this 3-minute fair value gap to go lower. So Jose, I just showed you guys. So what I'm looking for is some kind of a setup where we come down, sweep liquidity, enter the daily fair value gap, and the long setup would come somewhere in, would come somewhere in this section or this section. Some kind of an inverse fair value gap is going to come in this general area. So it really depends on how CPI prints. So you guys, I don't know if you guys know about my data candle setup, but let me show you guys an example. I'll just draw it out because I'm not going to find one right now. But let's say a candle forms, right? This is the candle at 8:30, right? We get a huge wick to the upside and a huge wick to the downside. Okay, this is what happens on CPI day. Okay, we get a big candle. What I like to do is wait for one to get swept. So let's say this is what happens in the market. We come back, we trade down into here on the lower time frames. I look for a long to target the high. So we'll see what happens on CPI day, but this is what I'm looking for. A big candle to form with a wick to the upside and the downside. I want to see the downside wick get swept and then go up. That will be the optimal trade on CPI day. And that will also be in confluence with longs. So we'll see what happens. So basically right now, even though the market is showing up, you still wouldn't take it. I'm not sure what that means, Jose. The reason I'm not taking trades today is because of where we are in the market. I want to see my liquidity get swept first, and then I'll look for a setup. If it happens today, great. But I think the market is generating liquidity today. That's what the algorithms like to do for the big move that's happening on CPI day, which is on Wednesday. And if this sounds like gibberish to you guys, I will be making a course soon. But again, I'm going to make a free course. And if you don't want to wait for that, you should start looking up ICT on YouTube. Inner Circle Trader. He's the guy that I learned all my stuff from. He has tons and tons and tons of free videos on YouTube. He doesn't charge a dime for anything. He teaches you about liquidity. He teaches you about how the market moves. He has a ton of content. I know it's complicated, and there are going to be times, guys, where I can give you guys alerts as to where I think the market's going to be going, and I will be taking them personally, and I do call alerts on Discord. However, you guys need to be confident about what you're doing. Don't just follow a setup because I'm taking it. Be super confident with what you're doing. Understand the market, understand market structure, understand how IFEGs work, which is my model, and take trades that you understand and you're confident with. Okay, so we're rejecting from this 1 minute here. My guess again is that we're probably going to go to this low now, right here. And yeah, hopefully we go lower from there. But nothing that I would personally take. Guys, you just gotta be patient, right? But you can see here we are rejecting from the 1 minute. So we changed market structure. We took buy side. We did create an inverse on the 2 minute that Gear Grinds pointed out. You can see we traded up into it, and now we're rejecting. So I think this low is coming now. Again, I'm not going to be taking any shorts, but if you are in a short, your stop should have been to break even at this low. And yeah, I mean, there's no setup here. So in theory, you would have gotten stopped out on this trade. Right? You're stopped to break even at this low, and you would have gotten stopped out on this move up. But you can see now we swept the low. If this 1 minute fair value gap gets closed below, then we should go lower. Again, guys, this is all tape reading. And yeah, we'll wait for Wednesday to get the AAA plus set up. But if this fair value gap gets closed below, we should go to London lows and hopefully down to sell side. I think we could be setting up for a big move to the downside today. But again, I don't like shorting and discount. Discount was up here. This whole area is all discount. All of this is discount, right? From this level down is discount. So we have a 2 minute fair value gap here, right? But if you were looking for a short, I would wait for the 1 minute to close below, and that has a little bit more leg, right? The 1 minute fair value gap is all the way down here, right? From this body, this candle's wick to this candle's wick. Draw it out in time, that is the fair value gap. I mean, for those of you who are just tuning into the streams, I wish this was not the first day you were tuning in. This is a terrible day to be trading. Was there an SMT with ES? Wait, that was not London. No, never mind. There was no SMT. Do not be surprised, guys, if this market pushes all the way down to London low. And guys, if you are tuning in here, I would honestly suggest you wait until Wednesday. You will have to be up a little bit earlier if you're in the Pacific. And if you're in Pacific Coast time, 5:30 a.m. If you are on the East Coast, 8:30. Central time, I think it's 7:30. I don't know for sure, but I believe so. It's like when we're 2 hours, you're 2 hours ahead. But that is going to be the best day. We'll see a really good setup form at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, if you're really looking for a great setup. But if you just want to tape read and understand how market structure moves, then you're welcome to stay and just learn about it. So we are still bullish, guys, in a sense, right? Because we're holding this 1 minute for value gap. But if this closes below on the 1 minute, we can try looking for a setup down to London low. We'll see if we get it. You could, in theory, short when the 1 minute closes below here, but what's likely to happen is that we come back, retest something in this zone, and then go lower. So maybe we get another setup. Like, let's say we close below with the body right here. What will likely happen is we come up, maybe do something here, and then get the move down to London low from there. Candle closes in. So many alerts. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Okay, candle closes in less than 30 seconds. Oh, I wanted to ask Gear Grind, did you take the M2 or the M3? Did anyone take this short up here? It wasn't half bad. Again, it's in discount, so I don't love it. But I'm curious if somebody took that. Candle close in 5 seconds. Let's see if we get it. So in theory, guys, now this should come down and sweep London low and this low right here. But we, again, like I said, we could come up, trade into this 1 minute fair value gap first, or even this 1 minute fair value gap, and then come down. But we'll see what happens. We shall see. We shall see. Took the recess of the M2, M3. Nice. Okay, guys, so I'm going to teach you guys what Gear Grinds did. So once we swept buy side, we swept this high as well right here. Okay. We saw this big push down. And you can see here on the M3, the 3 minute chart, we did form an inverse fair value gap right here. So if we were bullish, the market should have used this to go higher. So once he closed below, he didn't enter here. He waited for a retest and then he entered short, which is not bad. But yeah, so you guys can see here that we closed below, and I told you guys what will probably happen because of the nature of today. We'll come up, maybe trade into this 1 minute fair value gap even, and then get the short afterwards. But yeah, nothing A+ today. I knew today was going to be bad, and you can see here it's not behaving the way that I want it to. I mean, it is behaving because I know what it would likely do. But for a new inverse fair value gap trader who would try and take this short, you just got smoked. But you can see the entry for Gears Grind was down up here, and then he probably targeted this low. I'm hoping he took his profits at this low. But we'll see what happens with him. Gear Grind, did you take your profits already? Tell me you took your profits at this low. Or maybe at the low of the 1 minute fair value gap. Guys, also if you're in the stream and you're enjoying, make sure you like the video. Otherwise, we can't be friends. Okay, so watch for a trade into this 1 minute for value gap, and then maybe a rejection from there. If we can trade into this 1 minute and we get a nice 1 minute inverse up here, that wouldn't be too bad. Again, guys, I'm not taking anything on this eval. I'll probably, if there's something really good, I'll take it on paper. Oh, wait, Gear Grind, you took this short with it as a swing trade? Bruh. Guys, please, if you are smart, do not try and swing trade shorts in heavy discount of a range. I'm telling you, it's going to destroy your accounts. It works sometimes, but if you're in this trade, bro, and you're short from here, your stop should be at break even at this high. At minimum, because if you're wrong and the market decides to do some kind of a buy program, risking profits from Friday. So where's your stop loss? Friday low of day. Wait, why is my Asia so... Hold on. Something is tweaking with my account. Well, I wish you the best of luck, sir. Not something that I would personally do, but that is up to you guys on what you guys do with your money. So what I'm expecting to happen here, guys, is probably a trade into this 1 minute for value gap and then maybe a rejection from there. Again, there's no setup, nothing for me to take here. If we can get this, if we can sweep this, or we can fill this 1 minute for value gap, and then we get this 1 minute inverse, I don't think that's a half bad short down to London low. Stop to break even at this low. Okay, there's a trade into the 1 minute. So let's say we trade into this, guys, and we get a nice 1 minute short from in here, like a nice 1 minute inverse. Not gonna take it, not on this eval, but if you guys if you have an account you care less about, you can try it. Doesn't look bad. Okay, so no respect for the 1 minute for value gap. Possible that we come up to take this high out and completely fill this fair value gap. Possible. Don't know for sure what's going to happen here, but it's possible. I'm very light on the position size. Remember, I'm trading from RSA, which means I don't open full contracts like you guys. Got it, got it. Got it, sir. Okay, so if we can form a nice fair value gap here, I don't think that will be bad. Do not to the downside. So if we get an IFEG here, then you could take a short setup from here. Stop loss will be a close back above. Target on this trade will be this low. Again, I would never take this. It's in discount, not optimal, but just keep that in mind. And then your stop to break even would be once this fair value gap gets touched. Because if we're bullish and we trade into this, this will react as higher. But if not, we'll completely collapse below it, and then we'll continue to the downside. Okay, ES behaving stronger than NQ, obviously, because you can see that ES is close to its London high, NQ is not even close. But we will see, guys, we will see. You guys can see this 1 minute inverse long worked pretty well. But I would never take this, especially because we filled this right here. Not good in my opinion, not A+. If this 2 minute fair value gap gets filled to the upside and we close above it, would not be surprised to see a new high of day, and then I would like to see the hourly fair value gap get filled to the upside. So pay attention to what happens here, guys, from this fair value gap. Now we are sweeping a internal high, so be cautious, but let's say this closes above, we'll probably go back up to buy side and we'll ultimately fill the hourly. Oh, we got a 3 minute close above. Not a 2 minute yet. So if you're looking for a long, guys, I would wait for the 2 minute to close above as well, because you want to see both close. It's got 30 seconds left. If this high gets swept, though, then I would not even consider taking the trade. Okay, 10 seconds left. Yeah, so you can see this high got swept, so I don't like it as much. But if you want to enter along here, it would look like this. This would be your entry. Stop loss would be a 2 minute close back below the fair value gap. Stop to break even at this high, and I would hold it for higher. So, guys, if we are bullish here, which we should be, there should be a reaction from this 2 minute fair value gap to bring us back up to buy side. Should. Again, because of the nature of today, I am not expecting price action to behave exactly how I want it to. We could also come back and trade into this fair value gap, potentially. It's too many scenarios here. So you can see a perfect close above. Again, this should deliver us up to buy side. Should. Stop loss on the trade would be a 3 minute close back below this fair value gap. Terrible RR if you were to take this. But again, your stop to break even or your TP should be at this high. You know what I will try, guys? Let's say okay, I will try this. Let's say we end up coming up, sweeping this buy side, and we reject perfectly from here. I'll try and look for a short. I'll take it with 1 NQ, that's it. Should I try a scalp here, guys, at 1 for 1? Nah. Okay, there's buy side. So pay attention if we get a nice 1 minute inverse here. So you can see the 15-minute fair value gap. Let's say we come to the top. The hourly is a little bit lower, but give or take, they're generally the same area. Wow, we're getting a 4-hour inverse 2 here. Let me see, this closes at 1400, so we got a ways to go for that. Yeah, so no fair value gap is formed here. So there's no IFEG set up yet. There's also another 10-minute here. Another 5-minute up here. You could pay attention to. Immediate rejection so far, but we'll see what happens here. So for those of you who are wondering what a triple equal high looks like, or an perfect equal high, you can see here on ES, we made 3 highs here that are perfectly equal. If you draw those out, that is what a perfect equal high is, and that's typically a magnet for price. Now, I don't take equal highs on ES as seriously because there's a lot less volume, but it's something to pay attention to. Okay, so we're trading into this 5-minute. Pay attention to this, guys. When we have these small 5-minute fair value gaps, sometimes we get good setups within them. Now, I don't see any IFEGs here. Nothing that I would take, so nothing that I'm going to take personally, but pay attention to them. Be aware. Jose, where do you see long opportunity? Well, Jose, it really depends on what that question means. That's very vague. Right now, long opportunities on the 1 minute time frame. Are you talking about where am I going to see long opportunities when my liquidity gets swept? What do you mean by that? Guys, try and put a little bit more thought into your questions. I know if you're newer, it's a little bit, if you're newer to trading or to the market, I know sometimes you don't even think about that, but just put a little bit of extra thought into the question and ask it more specifically. Like, yeah, so on the daily chart, I've explained this already to you, Jose. If we get a sweep of this liquidity right here, this low, and we trade into the daily fair value gap, which comes from this wick to this wick, right? This is the unfilled orders. I'm looking for a long within this area, somewhere in here to reverse. So somewhere in this general area on the lower time frames, right? This is the daily chart. So every candle is a day. Somewhere in here is where I'm going to be looking for my longer term longs, because I want to see liquidity get swept. Okay, so we're trading into the 5 minute here. Be very aware of what happens in this 5 minute fair value gap, because I've seen this happen plenty of times where we come into this and then we completely reject. This is inducing a lot of traders long. There's not really even a breaker here. I mean, there kind of is a breaker. Low, high, lower, low. But nothing 8+. But like on the lower time frames, guys, if you were bullish, if you didn't think that London low was going to get swept, I don't know why you would think that. But this 3 minute fair value gap looked really good to the upside. So once, I'm going to replay the market here. When the market looked like this, okay, we created this 3 minute fair value gap. And we closed right here. This could be your long. But again, we have a tiny 3 minute here that we could reject from. It's just not A+. It's just not A+. 5 minute, there was nothing. So, but yeah, almost a perfect rejection from the 5 minute fair value gap. Wow, Tesla's at 394. What? When did that happen? Crazy. So you can see here at the sell side on end phase, we are getting a pretty bullish reaction, which is good for now. I want to see how this daily candle closes for our swing trades on that position. But yeah, very interesting that we are immediately rejecting. See how I drew this fair value gap out, guys, on the 5 minute, and we immediately rejected from the unfilled orders section. So this is the algorithm driving price up to unfilled orders to reject. Now where we go from here, I don't know. We could completely disrespect it, but excuse me. We will see, you guys. We will see. Also, we're rejecting from a 15-minute fair value gap. You don't, Jose. You don't know if it's valid to take the downside, but if a nice 1 minute inverse formed here, so this setup doesn't look good, this structure, but let's say this disappeared, okay? Let's say we were right here. And the market came up with 1 or 2 candles. Why is this not appearing? Hold on, guys. So let's say it came up perfectly with one candle here, formed an inverse fair value gap. This would be the entry short. So let's say the fair value gap formed right here, the 1 minute inverse. 1 second. Right here. Okay, and we close below it right here on this candle, whatever candle it was here with the body. This is where your entry would be. Stop loss would be at high of day, and you would take it all the way back down to sell side. So it depends how the candles print. But if you look at how the market actually turned out, there was no fair value gap that formed here. It's all wicks. So I couldn't take this trade. But you can see it is still rejecting, but my model calls for an inverse. So the fact that we didn't get one is, I mean, I couldn't take the trade. But you can see how we perfectly rejected from the 5. Now we're probably going to come back and retest this 5-minute fair value gap now. There is a 3 right above it, so tough to take any longs, or any shorts. But it is pretty crazy how the market works like this. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we come all the way back down to sell side now. Would not be surprised. You can see here that we had 2 bullish fair value gaps right here that we have rejected the first. Whoops. And so far we are reacting bullishly from the second. But if we close below the 3, then we should come back down to the 5-minute fair value gap, which you can see right here. Jose, does that make sense, by the way, what I just said? And for anyone else who is watching, do you guys see how the only way I would be able to take a valid trade from this 5-minute as a short is if I got a 1-minute inverse fair value gap to the downside? Gear Grind says yes, sir. Yeah, Gear Grind, guys, he has quite a bit of market knowledge. He's been trading for a while. But for you guys that are new to inverses, does that make sense what I just said? So my guess, guys, is that we're trading into this 5-minute to, or this 1-minute to go short. If you're in a short position, guys, you should be paying attention to this 1-minute fair value gap. If we end up closing back above it, then that's that signifies to me that the market might continue higher. But so far, this is looking pretty good for continuation to the downside to fill the 5-minute gap. And almost there. For Jose or anyone else that I just explained this to, let me know if that made sense. If it doesn't, I'll explain it better. Okay, there is the tap into the 5. Not yet. Came super close, guys. Look at that. By 1 tick, and now it's going up. So we could come and sweep this high first and then go down. But if you look at the 3-minute, we did we close below it by a tick there? We did. So this should definitely come down here now, guys. If we somehow miraculously get a sweep back up into this 3-minute first, I think that'll be a great short. And this should dump now, guys. And boom. Did we just form perfect equal lows? There it is. There's the dump into the 5. Now, what happens from here, nobody knows, right? Anyone that tells you they do is a liar. But in theory, if we are bullish, we should react bullishly out of this this 3-minute fair value gap, or 5-minute, and then go higher. Liquidity engineering on a Monday is wild, but I trust that we might flush the line the low by afternoon session. Yeah, I mean, anything is possible today, guys, but there is a high probability of them just generating liquidity to the upside and the downside. So just be aware of that. I'm going to guess that this 5-minute does not hold and we come back down to lows. I've seen this model play out before, but I've also seen this 5-minute works. So I'm going to guess based on today and based on screen time that we're going to dump to lows again. But again, just because I believe that's going to happen, I'm not taking any trades on it. But you can see here how I told you guys that the 3-minute, once we close below, this isn't a half bad short. Stop to break even when the 5-minute gets touched. So now your entry was here. Your stop is now at break even. It's a free trade, and you can ride it all the way down to potential sell side. But guys, I'm also on a eval account. I don't want to get drawdown, so I'm not taking this. It's not a plus enough for me. Okay, so far you can see this bullish reaction coming out of the 5. Yeah, watching them open up a microphone market. I get that that's a pun, but I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean a microphone market? Is that like some stock reference that that I don't know? Okay, so bullish reaction, guys, from this 5-minute. Again, I am guessing that this is going to continue to the downside. Oh, yeah, like that whole. I forget what it's not a microphone they call it, but it's like a wedge, not a wedge. A wedge is the opposite. Yeah, guys, I would not be surprised to see them continue this lower here. Trying to induce traders long and then dumping it. Maybe they come up and sweep this high. It's possible. And then they dump it after, but it still looks pretty good for downside continuation here, in my opinion. Like the old me would look for a long in here. But I know that this is probably going to fail. So we shall see, right? And guys, there is still potential. There is a possibility I take a setup today, but it has to be A+. And so far, everything has been like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, in my opinion. Just because of the nature of today. Okay. Do 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 do. Man, need another coffee in here. So what I'm gonna guess is happening here, guys. Again, this is just a guess, but based on structure, I think we're going to see something like this. There's a lot of people who are longing. Wow, this 5-minute didn't look bad at all. There's a lot of people who are longing from this 5-minute fair value gap. And I'm telling you, the odds of this failing are pretty darn high. You guys can see when I drew this. Now watch what happens. Look at this 1-minute fair value gap here. Oh. Is it going to fail? Is it going to fail, guys? Watch what happens at the low here. Whoa, Jose. Oh my goodness. I don't know if your screen is lagging or your stream, but if you're responding to if I asked you if it made sense, that was a long time ago. So make sure that you are live on YouTube. Click the live button on the bottom left, I think it is. Because if you're answering my question as to whether or not it made sense, then you're lagging or you're not live. Oh, yes, or to the short. Okay, good. At least you're live. Because I was gonna say you asked the question at the perfect time when we traded into the 5, so you must have been live here. Yeah, so you're good, bro. But you can see here that the 1-minute fair value, the 5-minute fair value gap is so far not being respected. I mean, it is, but you can see here that it's probably not going to be respected, but we'll see. But pay attention to this 1-minute fair value gap. I'm guessing that's coming now. Because everybody that's trying to long this 5-minute is probably going to get smoked. Should we try it, guys? I'm going to try one. Oh, it went without me, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not going to take it now. But on this candle, I wanted to take the short down to the 1-minute, but it's fine. Again, guys, there's a tiny scalp with 1 NQ. But to take an optimally sized trade, we're going to have to wait for sell side and probably the daily to get smoked. Which my guess is will happen today. Now, this is a different concept, guys. I'm not going to really confuse you, but this is something that I developed myself. This is QQQ, and it tracks the NASDAQ. NASDAQ tracks QQQ or vice versa. But when we have 2 weekly levels like this that are stacked together, likely this is a magnet for price. So watch the 496 level on QQQ. There's a possibility that we end up there today. Or even tomorrow, we'll see. Oh, I really want to take a scalp down to here, but should I book a quick 200 on this? Nah, we can't do that, guys. Yes, sir. And Jose is a smart man for waiting for an A+ setup. Again, guys, when I see an A+ setup, I will let you know. I will say alert, 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 alert. A+, A+, A+. Until you guys hear me say that and you hear it in my voice, I really would not suggest taking trades because, like I said, guys, I've been trading for many years. I have about 5 years of screen time looking at NQ and ES. I know when price action is likely to behave well. I know when price action is good enough for me to take an A+ setup. Maybe for you, you understand the market differently and you can thrive in this type of environment. I do not. I'm not perfect. No human is perfect when it comes to trading. And you just have to be patient and wait for something that screams at you, yes, this is it, this is it, this is it, and take those trades. Promise you, you'll be so much more profitable. You'll get those A+ setups you're looking for. Guys, this candle closes in 2 minutes, right? Interestingly, we are bouncing out of a new week opening gap. But yeah, there's one. Interesting. Yeah, so we do have new week opening gaps here that we could bounce from, so be cautious about that. But if this 5 minute closes below, guys, I think that this low is coming right here. Not now. But we'll see. We shall see. Look to see what happens with this 5 minute candle. 10 minute. Probably coming now anyways, but still. We have another just a bit until this candle closes, so pay attention to what happens on the 5 minute chart. We're on the 1 minute here just to see what the candle looks like, but the 5 minute close below this fair value gap will signify to me that the dump is coming down to this 1 minute. We'll see. 30 seconds left, guys. 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay, so maybe if we get a sweep of this high, I'll look for another short. Maybe we can scalp it, just for like a very small scalp. Because look, guys, the 5 minute did close below now. I'm expecting this low to get swept. It's probably going to happen on this candle, if I'm being honest, but no, I can't take it, guys. It's not A+. It's not A+. Even though I know with a high degree of certainty it's going to happen, it's not A+. We could come up first, but just pay attention to this low right here and then sell side liquidity. And should hit the low now here, and then we should enter this 1 minute fair value gap. We might chop around, go up a little bit first, but ultimately this low and then the fair value gap are coming. I just wanna know. Okay, so not quite yet. Maybe we come up and enter this little 1 minute fair value gap first. But my guess is that we're just chopping around here. Pay attention to this high right here though, in case, but maybe we sweep this high one more time, then go down. But I'm assuming this is a consolidation for a dump. Assuming. And not yet. So I see two scenarios playing out here, guys. One, is this. Then we reject. But there is a small chance that it... Okay, so there's the low. If you entered on this candle, your stop should definitely be to break even right now. And just take your profits at this 1 minute fair value gap. And oh, I missed it by a tick. Should rebalance still though. Okay, again, guys, if you entered short, like a degenerate, your stop should be at break even if you entered in this wick. Because if we're going to deliver down, we should just do it. We should not come back up to this wick. Otherwise, this could be a manipulation to take us back up to this buy side. So... Market is garbage. London and Asia were better. There was some really nice deliveries in London, Asia. But... Okay. No, never mind. Didn't really like much, to be honest, guys. At least to the short side. There wasn't any major liquidity sweeps. We had this new week opening gap above. Doesn't really tickle my fancy. Like even here, we never swept any of these highs before going lower. So neither of them were great, IMO. But I'm not expecting, like I told you guys already, before market even opened, you guys can see in my Discord, in the economic calendar section, I told you guys, Monday, no news. Well, I should have spelled news with an S. Likely no trades, guessing this day is going to be choppy. I said this yesterday at 9:30 in the morning, and it's all because I get good at reading these economic calendars. Now, am I right every single time? No. But I know when the market is likely to be good and when it's likely to be bad. And you can see here we're not delivering optimally to either longs or shorts because the market is generating liquidity. I know it's crazy to believe. It's probably mind-blowing to some of you that I'm telling you right now, the markets are run almost purely on algorithms that take into account human buying and selling pressure, retail buying and selling pressure, fund buying and selling pressure. And they just basically allow the market to move opposite directions to generate liquidity, and then they make their real move later on. So this is one of those days. Why you would be trading this, I don't know. Again, were there some decent setups? Yes. But again, these longs that happened here, I would never take because of the fact that we are close to London low and major sell side liquidity. This is going down to here now. Let's see if I get filled on this. Nope. So that would have been a quick $150 there on this funded account. But again, guys, this is all like tiny scalps. So let's see what happens out of this 1 minute. My guess is that the 1 minute gets rejected and we come back down to this low right here. Look at what I drew here while we were up here, guys. So far we've delivered to this portion of it. This is just market experience. Telling you, the more screen time you have, guys, the better you're going to get at this stuff. But you notice how much discipline I have? Even though I believed that this is what was going to happen, I didn't click any buttons. Yes, I tried to limit fill this tiny scalp. It would have been 150 win or 150 loss. On this account, where I have to make 20,000, it's nothing. Okay, guys? But I'm not going to risk real size on this account today. Unless something miraculous happens where it's too good to ignore. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, guys, I will probably stay on live for another 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna move the live over to the Discord. If I see anything A+, you guys will see it again. Again, I'll stay on for 30 more minutes, but if you are not in the Discord, or if you are, or you want to join, the live alert section is here, and this is where I will take, I will call out A+ setups if we get one. But I'm happy to teach as much as I can while I'm here. If I get a setup here, I will let you guys know, obviously. But I already know it's a no news Monday. I've got a lot of stuff to do too. But we will stay on and we'll call the market as it is. Again, I think this 1 minute will fail. There's a possibility that we go higher, but based on this structure, I'm telling you guys now, we're likely to go back to lows. November 20th. Let's see something really quick, guys. Where's November 20th? Yeah, so I think this low is very likely to come, guys. Very low. This low is very likely to get swept at some point. Probably, I'm going to guess today, but we'll see. So pay attention to London low, and then pay attention to, again, this daily that I called this in the market overview. I said that we're likely to go here. But yeah. So yeah, Jose, one of the best things you guys can do for your psychology, okay, is just, okay, first of all, I've told you already, this is such a bad place to short because there's so many opportunities for the algorithm just to spike price up and stop out shorts. Instead of getting that FOMO and being desperate to take a short, leave your computer, but set an alert when the lows get swept. So like when this low gets swept, set an alert, and you'll get an alert from your computer, and then you'll know it's time to go back to the computer and check the charts. Okay? What I'm probably going to do after I get off the live stream is I'm going to set an alert for this low. And when I get it, I will alert the Discord that I'm going to be taking potential longs. So it's very simple. I do this exact same thing that you're thinking. Because over time, guys, the market is boring to me, okay? I love the market. I had a honeymoon phase in the first few years that I traded. Everything got excited me. I got excited when I entered shorts, excited when I entered longs. I don't get that anymore because I trade with consistent size and I wait for liquidity. It's that simple, guys. If you take anything away from this live stream, okay? The best thing you can do for yourself is just wait for liquidity to get swept. Don't take a single trade until you see obvious liquidity to the buy side or the sell side. For example, today, if you were patient, you waited for this buy side liquidity to get swept, you entered the 5-minute, and then you entered a short. Now, was there a setup? No. But you can see here, if you were patient and you just blindly long or short, you're going to get your best moves after liquidity is swept. So to the upside, the best move is down. In this case, we swept this liquidity, this low right here, and we got an upside move. So yeah, it's just so much better to wait for liquidity. And I'm telling you guys right now, if the market delivers the way that I think it is, and we end up sweeping this low or get very close to it, maybe get an SMT with ES at this low, that is when the best setup's going to occur. Maybe in this daily fair value gap. So we'll see when the setup presents itself. It might be here, it might be here. But just be patient, guys. I promise you it'll be way better for your psychology, way better for your profitability, way better for everything. Promise you. Yes, I know, Jose. The FOMO is the hardest thing. And this, I'm telling you guys right now, whether you want to believe it or not, with this whole algorithmic price theory, that the markets are generated based on algorithms. They are designed to create FOMO. They're designed to manipulate traders to take trades in one direction or another. Like a lot of traders see this. So this is like an ICT concept. It's like a bullish breaker. If you go to the 5-minute chart, we made a low, high, lower, low, and then we created a breaker right here. So a lot of ICT traders entered longs in this fair value gap. This is like a unicorn setup. You have a breaker with a unicorn. But I know, based on my experience, that this doesn't work in this situation when we get these 5-minute fair value gaps where we reject from. You have to be very careful to watch where are we rejecting from and where is the draw on liquidity. Very likely this low is going to get swept. So just because I see a unicorn setup here does not mean I'm going to enter long. So it's all about experience. Got really bad FOMO in Asia and London just to be able to close a trade. Yeah. Telling you guys, FOMO is a real thing. It's very difficult to trade. So guys, just make it easier on yourselves and just wait. Wait for liquidity. Telling you right now, I've been trading for 5 years. I've done it all. I've tried every strategy. I've chased a lot of candles. I've lost a lot of money over the time that I was not profitable. And I'm telling you, the number one lesson I could take, I would give to my younger self, just wait. Wait for liquidity and then look for your setups. It's so much better. Even though I think I know what's going to happen here. Am I going to take this? No, because we could easily get something like this first, then go down now. It's just there's too many what ifs. But in theory, guys, we did inverse this 5 minutes. So maybe we come back up into it and then we get a short from here. But this is what should deliver. Something like this. Or we just can go straight down from here. But in theory, we should hold this 5-minute gap. We might come back and test this 5-minute. It's possible. But the short should happen from either this 5-minute or this 5-minute. If this 5-minute gets inversed, then we're probably going up to midnight, and we're probably going to go up to this high that formed at 3:05 a.m. But we shall see. But I hope you guys can take that one lesson. Just wait for liquidity to be swept to the downside if you're looking for longs. Tap Info Reality says straight down from right here, no more greens. So this is the type of red flag stuff I'm talking about, guys. Never listen to anybody who talks in absolutes. He's saying straight down from right here, no more greens. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it 100% certain? Absolutely not. And people that talk in absolutes oftentimes get smoked. They're the people that don't use stop losses. And yeah, so just be cautious. I'm not talking smack to you personally. Tap info reality. I'm just saying, guys, make sure you don't talk in absolutes, because if you do, it's also like kind of like feeding your ego. And if you're wrong, you oftentimes will not move your stop losses and you get smoked. So, okay, it was just a joke. All right, fair enough. But yeah, if you guys, for example, I'm just saying, so if you guys know any like gurus on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, these dudes that talk in absolutes, including ICT, unfortunately, a lot of the times he talks in absolutes, like he knows where the market's going to go. He's a market maker. He has such a deep understanding of the market that he knows exactly where it's going to go tick for tick. He says he can call the market tick for tick. I'm sorry, but there is nobody on earth that I know of that can do that. And if you see these gurus like Romeo, if you guys have heard of him on X, he like calls all the turtle soups in hindsight. Such a scammer, and he just pretends like he's this all-knowing market guru, and he lures a lot of stupid people in, and it sucks. But he takes a lot of money. He sells courses, which is fine. I don't care about that. If you want to sell your education, great. But to convince people that you know where the market's going to go at all times is an absolute lie. Nobody knows. All you can do is take a high probability setup. And if you just keep your RRs, good, and you keep your trading amounts to a minimum, 1 to 2 trades max a day, your odds of profitability skyrocket. If not, your odds of profitability are slim to none. The only person who could do it is the guy who's time traveling. Exactly. And that's why you guys see ICT, like when he tries to prove that he knows what's going on, he hovers his mouse over this market open to show that the market is live, which is fine. I mean, listen, I don't know if ICT is profitable. I really want to believe he is, but there's no doubt he has a deep understanding of the market. Whether or not that changes when money is involved and he has his whole ego thing, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of hindsight traders out there that will just basically so like for example, I'll give you an example. There's a guy named Zusi. Okay, he's a great guy on X, and he has a pretty big following. And he makes these videos in hindsight of the market working like a market maker buy model. But what he does, he never posts a failed market maker buy model. He only posts the ones that work, and every single time it's on paper. It's not even on an eval account. It's on a paper account, which is wild to me. Like, at least trade it on an eval or something. Like, when there's no risk involved and you're only posting the successful trades, like, what's the point? It's all hindsight. It's really stupid in my opinion. But he has a following and he teaches people. But I think it's important for people to put their money where their mouth is. At least, at minimum, with an eval. And you guys can see here, this happened from like 17 trades or something like that. 16 trades. I brought this account from 300 to 316. It's not, and you guys have seen that live. It's not like I'm taking this from a 300K account in one trade to 316. The biggest trade I've had on this was a $7,200 win. And the rest of them have been between $1,000 and $3,000 wins. Most of them being like 1,000 or 700 or 600. So, and you guys are welcome to follow this Tradovate. I show you guys the number here. And yeah. So guys, I'm gonna go. Wait, let me make sure that are my macro times lit here? No, they're not. See if any equal highs or lows formed. So I'm gonna go until the 11:50 macro. So we're gonna end the stream at 12:10, which is in what? How many minutes? Basically like 40 minutes from now. And then if I'm assuming that something's going to happen in this macro time. If not, I will take the stream to the Discord, and I'll call my live alerts from there. But what will probably happen here is maybe we come back and take out this high, balance the market, go lower. Again, no setup here. Jose, you're a very good teacher. Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. My number one goal here, if I can, Jose, if you look in the description, there should be a link to the Discord. But guys, my number one goal here is to make sure that you guys understand the market, because I don't care how many alerts I give, okay? I showed you guys this before, but we have a live alert section here. Great. Sometimes I can't alert a trade too quick. If it happens really quickly, I can't alert it. And I also have to show you guys all these details, like on this trade, for example, okay? We called a 1 minute IFEG, but this was a 5 minute, okay? There's so many different things that I have to tell you guys, like move the stop to break even when we hit this high. Stop loss will be a 5 minute close back below the fair value gap. Watch for the SMT, whether it breaks or not. Like all these things need to be learned. So for me to type all of those things at once, it gets tough. And then for you guys, if you want to size correctly for your accounts, like you have to have knowledge of where the market is going to go, or you have to have knowledge of where your stop loss needs to go, why you're sizing the amount you are. There's so many different factors that I can't really type all at once. So these live alerts aren't great. And for the times that I'm not live on YouTube, you guys need to understand why the trade is happening. Like, don't just rely on alerts. Yes, they are good, but you need to be like, you need to have confidence in the trade. Otherwise, you're never going to be profitable. You might cut the trade early. You might not size the right way because you're not confident. So my number one goal is to teach you guys how the market works so that you can take the trades on your own. That's the goal. And yeah, I can't say that enough. Like, live alerts are great, but if you can't do it yourself, the odds of, even if with live alerts, the odds of you being successful are slim. I've been in a lot of Discords over the years, and that is the conclusion that I've come to. But yeah. And for those of you guys who are not in the Discord, it's not just live alerts I do. We have a long-term portfolio, so I'll be transparent with you guys. I've said this many times in live streams. Probably 20% of my stock market income comes from day trading. 80% comes from swing trades, long-term portfolios, and option selling. So these three sections here are where the majority of my income comes from. My swing trade win rate is about 85%. It's give or take like between 85 and 90, depending on like the year. But these are excellent. And then option selling requires a lot of capital, but though that's another way I make a lot of monthly income. Okay, so we're getting a pretty bullish reaction here. Let me see if there's anything that I'm missing. Okay, so this actually doesn't look half bad. Okay, we did get a 3 minute close above here. We're delivering from a 3 minute fair value gap. It's possible that we end up back at this buy side here. Do I like the trade? Not really, because again, guys, I'm looking for lows here. I'm looking for sell side. But there is a possibility like this high can hit and then you can move your stop to break even here. But again, this is not A+, in my opinion. But yeah, if you guys want a link to the Discord, I don't even know how I can post it. For some reason, I can't even chat. Maybe I can. Open in web browser. Let me see. Yeah, I can't chat for whatever reason right now. Look at this, guys. Failed 3 minute. Or close to failing. But yeah, it should be in the description, guys. You can also follow me on Twitter or X. Castle Capital is the name of the... my Twitter name is Checkmate Trading, I think. The same as YouTube. But yeah, and there's a free 3-day trial. Okay, so you guys can see how we came up to this high and we rejected before hitting these highs. Again, this is just market experience. This 3 minute does look good. Okay, I'm not going to lie, it does look good. But because of the fact we have sell side liquidity below, that I'm targeting. Why am I trying to enter longs when we get that? I'm not. And we've already had a big bullish reaction today. We took out some buy-side liquidity, so the odds of us sweeping buy-side liquidity again when we're in a sell program is unlikely. So you can see this is the 3-minute fair value gap we reacted bullishly out of, but was there a setup? No. Look at these candles, guys. Is this something you want to be a part of? Hell no. It's terrible PA. So the fact that we got this big reaction randomly out of this chop, it makes no sense. But I really appreciate, it makes me happy that you guys are learning, or just like generally appreciating the commentary. It makes me feel great to know that people are enjoying it. And again, I pray that you guys take what I'm saying into action and just be smart with your trading, and you guys will be so much more successful. Like the amount of people who can sit at a mark, especially on an eval account, the amount of people that can sit and not take trades, it's wild. Yes, I will be honest, I did try a scalp into this 1 minute because my confidence on this trade was like almost 100%, and it was a very tiny, it was going to be a 1-to-1 scalp, and it worked, but I didn't get the limit fill, so it's fine. Tap and Ferrari at technicals, it had properly broken out of a flag with a retest before going up. You're talking about this right here? I think it could be a fake out to dump the market to the lows. Potentially, yes, but I don't like that we didn't sweep any of this buy side. I don't like if we end up somehow miraculously getting up to this 5-minute gap and we get a nice 1-minute inverse from here. So let's say we like somehow balance out of this 1 minute, we come up, trade into this 5-minute and get a nice inverse short. This could be a good setup to London lows potentially, and then the lows here, because a lot of people are still being patient. There are some people that are still being patient and they want a short here, but a lot of the times if they're going to deliver it, they do it after the lunch session. So like they'll stop a lot of people out and then they'll go lower. Yes, could they do it now? Absolutely, but you have to be super aware. So like there's some people that entered this 3-minute long, right? They got stopped out. Now they're on tilt. Now they lost a trade. This is where you guys have to, this is where most traders lose, okay? You swept liquidity. You traded above a 3-minute fair value gap. You're like, oh, this is A+, let me take this, because you're not experiencing the market. You get stopped out. Now the tilt begins. You were patient the whole day, and now you took a loss. So this is where most people, this is where the account blowing happens. You were patient. You took a trade that you thought was A+, and you lost, and you get upset, and you're like, okay, well, I can win this back. And then you try something here. You're like, oh, is this another 1-minute inverse long? Maybe I'll take this one. And yes, sometimes you're going to win, and you'll go back to break even or close to it on the day, and maybe you'll win. But what separates a profitable trader from a non-profitable trader, especially on a funded or a cash account, typically I take one trade, guys. Very rarely I take two. Very rarely. It's one and done. If you guys can do that, I'm telling you right now, you will be so much better off, so much more profitable. So there was a, was this a 1-minute setup? It was a 1-minute setup after a fake out. And yeah, probably going up here, but again, am I going to take a trade for that? No. So the 50K PA, would you take one trade on NQ or MNQ? On a 50K, I only trade MNQ, but this is a 300K account, you guys can see. So with this, I trade with NQ because the size, I mean, I could trade it with MNQ, but I think NQ is better for this type of account because I'm trading with like 3 contracts at a time normally. I have taken 6 contracts. That's the $7,000 trade I won was a 6-contract trade. And you guys can go back to the live stream to see that. I forget the day that was on, but I did it live. And actually that day, very few people were watching. It was in the morning. I can actually probably find it. It was here. This was this setup right here. I'll go and replay the market here so you guys can see it. I believe it was there. Let me double check. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. It was here. It was on January 7th. So we took out all this buy-side liquidity. We consolidated pretty much at highs, close to all-time highs. A lot of people were expecting the market to go higher here. We swept this liquidity right at market open. And my short came, I think it was on the 3-minute chart. No, it wasn't. It was right. I think it was on a 1-minute. I think I entered it here. Let me check. Yeah, I think I entered it here on this pullback. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. I'm tripping. I did it over here. Right in here I entered. And my stop loss is at highs. And then we saw this complete dump. And then I took most of my profits off at this low, and then I sold most in this, whatever this was, I can't remember. Maybe sell side. I think there was an hourly fair value gap here that wasn't balanced. Yeah, I sold most in this hourly fair value gap right here. And I missed a huge rest of the move, but it's okay. Again, guys, you don't have to catch every move all the way up, all the way down, but... I am thinking that this 5-minute is going to get rebalanced here. But yeah, so with a with a 50K account, guys, I would highly suggest you trade with MNQ. Very easy to blow the account if it's NQ. Okay, I'll be right back. 1 second, guys. Okay, so far we're getting a rejection. Okay, I am gonna post the I'm still live, right? Just making sure it didn't get blocked. All right, I'm gonna post the Discord link if you guys want it, but let me just figure out how to do this on my phone because it's not working on my computer. Okay. How the hell do I do it? Okay, I'm gonna pin it to the top. All right, there we go. All right. All right, all right, all right. Yo, guys, can you still hear me? Something weird happened on my end, so I'm hoping it's still live. Okay, so you can see we swept this high by 1 tick, and we're rejecting. I still think we'll probably go back up to this 5 minute, if I had to guess. But we will see. There is a macro time coming up. So here's what I would love to see, guys. All right, good. We're still live. So if we can get some kind of a 1 minute inverse from this 5 minute fair value gap, I would not be surprised if that takes us to London low. Now, I'd love to see it happen within the macro time. That would be A+. And I'd like to see a 1 minute short that's so good, I can't deny. So something like this. And if we get the inverse in here, that will be the sell program down to sell side. And that will be, if we get that, guys, I will consider that with 1 NQ contract because of the nature of the day. If it was a normal day, I would probably take that with 3. But also because of how heavy we are in discount, yeah, I just can't. I can't take it with big size. Okay, so decent move so far in the macro time. So those of you guys, yeah, Jose, I go live almost every single day. I've told you guys this before, but so I've been gaining traction pretty quick. I was actually kind of surprised, but it took me like 6 months to gain 300 subscribers, and then in the last 10 days, I've gained like almost 300. So I've doubled the subscriber count in like probably 10 days. I'm not gonna stop the live streams on YouTube, but I will start eventually trading in the Discord. So I don't want to burst your bubble, but eventually it's going to be private. But for now, they're going to be completely free. But yeah, if you guys look at the economic calendar section again, you'll see what days I will go live. Most of the time, I'm going to go live on the red folder days, and we have quite a few this week. But depending on where the market goes on Friday, I will consider live streaming on Friday as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm still gonna. I mean, there will be free days. Like, I'm not just gonna only live stream on the Discord, but it's not fair to the people that are in there that are paying every single month. They're paying and they need to get full value for their money. Like, it's only fair for them as well. But like on days, so like on CPI days, I will probably stream on YouTube still, just because. I mean, it's a great opportunity to let more people see the streams, but also like those are really good setups. So it's like a good learning opportunity for people that don't want to pay too. But yeah, I was shocked. Like I literally, so my goal for the year was going to be 1,000 subscribers, but I went from 300 to like 630 in 10 days. I was like shocked. I don't know how it happened, but it did. So I might have to take it private earlier than I thought, but that's fine. Again, guys, this is really not bad either. It's $19 a month for the amount that you're getting. One trade will pay that off times probably 100 if you trade with 1 NQ. So And I'm also going to be raising the prices at some point. So for $19, guys, to get all my option selling, all my long-term positions, my market overviews, my swing trades, my day trades, live callouts, I don't know how that's not worth $19. So, yeah. Okay, so in the macro time, we did not trade up to this buy side, which is interesting. We did take this buy side out, but I'd like to see this buy side get taken out. So what would potentially happen here is maybe a 2-minute short that induces traders. So like, let's say we close below the 2 here, and then we just completely reverse to the upside. That's a possibility as well. Or we bounce out of this 2 to go higher. I just want to check something quick, guys. I have a section in my notes where I take screenshots of a bunch of different days in the market and how they behave. This is what I did when I was younger. And yeah, I just compared the days to see if there's anything that I see that's relatively similar. Because they do repeat structure, by the way. Like, there's a lot of different programs the markets can run on, but they do repeat days. So like all these patterns that you see here, they don't always rhyme. Don't always match up perfectly, but they always rhyme. So I look to see if there's something that is similar to today. These are all like sell days. So like days where we just had a complete sell in the market. And I look to see if there's anything that matches. The most similar thing I see to today is this setup here. But this was an FOMC day, so it's not really going to match. But you guys can see here the 2-minute is closing below, which tells me we're probably going to go to this sell side liquidity here. But if they really want to induce traders, they'll close it here. Maybe take out this sell side, and then they'll run the market all the way back up to the 5-minute fair value gap here. That's possible too. So like if this is going to be a real hard sell day, like I said, they'll come down to this low, they'll come all the way back up, take out this 5-minute, and then the afternoon session will have a short. Or, I mean, it could easily just dump here, but this is a possibility. Just keep that in mind. I know it's hard to believe, but it's definitely possible. But if you're in a short here from the 2-minute, then your stop should be to break even when this low hits, which it just did. So you're probably going to get stopped out for break even on this trade, but if not, you'll get lucky and you'll sweep this low, maybe take a partial here and then hold it down to London. There was a tiny 1-minute fair value gap here. You guys can see it, but way too small for me to take this. Yeah. Yeah, Jose, it's crazy, bro. This setup is actually wild. Using inverse fair value gaps is literally the best thing ever. And you can see once we close below on the 2-minute, you guys can see that we're delivering down to the next liquidity. Not necessarily the next fair value gap. Sometimes the next fair value gap, yes, but you want to target liquidity. And right now, so watch this, guys. There is a potential here, okay, that this ends up being the low and we go all the way back up to buy side. Is it happening? In this case, no. But sometimes that does happen, just letting you know. So we're still in this 1-minute here. Yeah, there's a few different scenarios here. But yeah, Jose, I would say wait for, it's basically you're targeting the next liquidity. You're not necessarily targeting the next fair value gap. Correct. Liquidity candles are this candle, this candle. This candle right here is a liquidity candle. This is a liquidity candle to the buy side. This was a liquidity candle. This was a liquidity candle. You're basically looking for wicks, guys. Okay, so it looks like we are rejecting from this too. You can see how perfectly it worked. The thing I didn't like about this one, guys, is that we closed below this liquidity wick. So it's possible that this would have been a fake down move to bring us back to the 5-minute fair value gap. But I have a strong feeling, guys, that we may get a very strong move here to the lows. Everybody get out and push. Push, guys, come on. Who's carrying the boats, too? That's my main question. But, guys, if this ended up being a 5-minute from in here, would have been way better. Like, we swept liquidity one more time to the upside, and then it had a 1-minute fair value gap in this 5-minute gap. Oh, that would have been nasty. All right, so we balanced the 1 minute perfectly. Now, we could, guys, potentially get along here. But yeah, give me 1 second. My dog is scratching. She always does this almost every single day in the mornings. She stretches in the bathroom. Come on, Lou. No, Lulu, I'm working. Come on. I'm working. You coming in? Come on. I'm working, Lulu. Come on. Lulu. All right, she's not interested. Okay. Let me check something here. So we're holding the 1, the 3, and the 2. Did we just close below in the 3-minute? No, we held the 3-minute to the tick, if you guys see that. 2-minute, we also held to the tick. So the 2, the 3, and the 1 are still holding right now. So we'll see what happens in this macro. But pay attention to this low, and London low, which came from here. Because if we close below in the 1 minute, we're very likely to go down. Jesus is my savior. Time to get coffee. Yes, sir. But guys, if you need Jesus for your trades, now obviously, God is important, but if you're praying to Jesus during your trades, you shouldn't be in the trade. Your trade should be based on data, not religion. Because if you're praying, I mean, listen, it's fine to pray, don't get me wrong. But like, let's say the trade goes against you and you're praying to Jesus instead of having a set stop loss. Sorry, but Jesus is going to teach you a lesson. That you shouldn't be a degenerate. You're going to lose your account. So far, guys, we have no 2 or 3 minute close. Okay, we just got a 2-minute close below the fair value gap of the 1 minute. Did the 1 minute close below? It did. So in theory, guys, this should deliver us lower now. Oh, no, I came back from today's loss. Nice. So, Jose, how many trades did you take today? It was negative 2,100 on a 50K. Now I'm only down 60. Wow. Crazy. So look at this low resistance liquidity that's forming here, guys. I'm going to guess that the market brings us higher here. Now, I'm not just going to take a trade because of it. But yeah, I think this is probably generating some higher time frame LRLR to bring us lower later. But I don't know. Only been doing 1 to 2 contracts on a 50K, 1 to 2 NQ or MNQ? Sheesh, Jose. Not good, my friend. Guys, I'll be the happiest for you if you win, but if you're doing it the wrong way, I can't just sugarcoat it and approve it. You know? I want you guys to win, but if you're doing it with NQ contracts on a 50K and you're down 2100, that's tough. I mean, luckily I'm glad that you got it back to close to break even, it sounds like. But definitely not ideal. Look at the 5-minute quick. So if we get this 5-minute setup, I don't think this is half bad either. To target this 5-minute fair value gap. Like, let's say we close above on the 5 down here. I think we'll probably go up to this buy side today. You can see this trend line that we're forming, right? And what they like to do sometimes is they'll leave these and then they'll, so for example, like on CPI or maybe PPI tomorrow, we'll get them and they'll save them and then bring the market higher and then go down. Now, we could just dump here. It's possible. But I don't like the fact that we close below on the 1 minute and we're getting this strong bullish reaction. This tells me that if I was short, that this could potentially bring us up higher to stop out liquidity above this high. But yeah, I will attempt this, guys. If we get a 5-minute close above here and it's close to the top, I'll take it with 1 NQ up to internal highs. Because it would be a long and discount with low resistance liquidity forming for later. But if we're outside this macro, then I'm going to have to dip. Closing out for the day just got trailed out. Fair enough. Fair enough. Good job, Year Grind. But yeah, this is definitely a tough place to be in, guys, because they'll do one of two things. They will either just completely collapse this, or they're going to leave this low resistance liquidity for another day. But yeah, Gear Grind was able to get some shorts in from earlier, and he booked some profits, right? He got trailed out of his trailing stop, or whatever he uses. Wow. So if you guys want to try something super risky, if this 1 minute closes below, you can try this short. Stop to break even at this low and target London lows. Very risky trade, but I've seen it work before. Okay, bullish reaction out of the 1, so. I would not be surprised if they drive the market all the way back up to this high. See if I buy one here, TP it here. Yeah, guys, this looks like we're going to drive up to this 5-minute FEG. I think that was a great place to take profits, Gear Grind. So guys, I just said it again. I will try this on this eval. If this 5 minute closes above and we get it close to the top of the 5 minute, I will target this high, the 5 minute fair value gap here. But we'll have to see how the 5 minute candle closes, right? It closes in 2 minutes. And we'll see what we get. Because there's a possibility that they leave this London low either for later today when this high gets swept, or they will leave it for CPI or PPI tomorrow. Gear Grind, I gotta go. Thanks for the stream. Of course, bro. I'm so glad you guys are in here. I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and yeah, I'm glad that you were able to take a good trade, bro. So you guys have to think here. A lot of people think the market's going to dump today. Can it dump? Absolutely. But if they are wrong and the algorithms are going to drive price, we're looking for a confluence on this trade. We want to see liquidity get swept, which we just did right here, a 5 minute inverse, and a target. So this would be my target on the trade. If the 5 minute closes above with a body, the body of this candle needs to close above this purple box. If it does, that's my entry on the trade. Stop loss is a 5 minute close back below. Take profit at the highs. Take a look at the 1 minute. Yeah, I think that's a good trade. So I don't know where this candle's going to close on a 5, but if we're just super bullish, I'm going to miss the trade, obviously. But I need to see a close like right up here. I'd love to see it close close to the fair value gap. If it closes all the way up here, guys, I'm not taking the trade. But if we get it closed somewhere here where the RR is actually decent, it's going to be like a 1-to-1, give or take, then I'll take it. You can rely on an old man's money. Okay, decent push here, guys. And there's 4 minutes till this candle close. So we need to see some miraculous move where we don't get much higher than this fair value gap, and then the trade will be entered. But so far, we are getting a rejection, you can see from the top of the 5. So if we reject from here, guys, and then we inverse this 1 minute, I think that's a decent short too. Now, am I taking this? No. It's too low. We're too heavy in discount. Got 3 minutes till the candle close. We'll have to really see. I don't want to see the market go much higher than this. And I want to see the body of the next 5 minute candle close above. That's the only way I'll take this short. And I want to see it in the next one candle. I don't want to see the market stall here. If it stalls, I'm not going to take it. This is what I'm saying, guys. I'm very, 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 very selective about the trades I take. And if you're not selective, you're going to get smoked. I said I was going to stay on until the 12:10 macro, which we actually technically have passed, but it still looks good enough, so I'll stay on until this 5 minute candle closes. Wow, Tesla is pushing today. I'm happy to see that. 2 minutes left, guys. See what we get. Minute and a half. Does everybody understand why I like this trade? If we get the close above. Only if we get the close above. Now, I don't like that we're trading all the way up here now, but... So if we take this high out, guys, I'm not going to enter this trade. Okay, we took the high out, guys, so I'm not going to enter this anymore. Unfortunately, but we should still go up to this buy side. So again, guys, because of the nature of today, the fact we took out internal buy side, not optimal. But this high should come next, and this high should come next. They could do something crazy where they drive it all the way down to the lows here and then take it higher, but again, because we swept this internal buy side, I'm not entering the trade personally. But this 5-minute fair value gap should get hit now. This high got swept. We are having a slightly bearish reaction here, but again, guys, you have to be super careful. On a day like today, this is designed to generate liquidity, so just be cautious, guys. Don't just take anything. I'm super, super selective on my trades. Okay, so if you're in this, guys, for sure, when this high hits, move your stop to break even. Ooh, they dumped it right before. All right, my dog is coming from the other door now. Hold on. Come on. Hey, hey. Oh, come say hi, Lulu. Oh, here she is. Say hi, Lulu. Oh, that's a good girl. Her name's Lila, but we call her Lulu. She's a mini schnauzer. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I'm gonna put her down 1 second, guys. Okay. I still think this is probably likely to hit buy side and then the 5-minute gap, but I don't like that we hit this internal high first. On a day like today, that makes me suspicious. Look at the 1 minute. And we should hit this high now. We should not stall here. We should just deliver. Crazy, huh? I'm telling you, bro, this shit is wild. But that doesn't mean, guys, that I just take anything. Even though I know these setups often work, I'm still disciplined because sometimes they do not. You're witnessing a day where a lot of the stuff I'm calling out is working. And I mean, most of the time it does, but it's still, you still have to be careful, okay? I'm not some all-knowing market guru, okay? I make mistakes too. I'm wrong sometimes. But you just have to understand that, like, even if you are confident on a setup, if it's not the right day, you have to be careful because a lot of the times these days they smoke people. And remember when I said to you guys down here, I said I know it's hard to believe, but what they can easily do is leave this low resistance liquidity or this trend line. So it's called low resistance liquidity in ICT terms, or LRLR. They can leave it and deliver the market all the way back up to buy side to stop out traders. It's wild. Look where it's rejecting from now. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back and fill it fully. Then if we get a nice 1 minute inverse from here, guys, I will consider another short. I really will. If we get a really nice inverse from here, I'll take it with 1 NQ. So let's say something happens like this. We get the inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it, to deliver further down. But only if we get an A+ IFEG setup. You guys can, if you don't believe me too, rewind the tape. When we were right here, I said, do not be surprised if the market takes us all the way back up. I said, if this 5 minute inverses, you can take a long. However, I didn't like it because we swept this buy side. Normally, I would take this, guys, but the nature of the day, because I know they love to generate liquidity, I did not take this long. You can see you had very little drawdown on the trade, and we entered back into this 5 minute fair value gap. But again, I'm very selective on a day like today. And I'm telling you guys beforehand what I think is going to happen. I'm telling you right now, I know what setup I'm looking for here. If I don't get the setup I'm looking for here, there's zero trade. It's just that simple. Okay, so I like that I like these kind of inducement candles. I like to see these strong green candles. Now, obviously they have to hold. But I love to see like strong green candles that induce traders saying, oh yeah, it's going all the way back up to buy side. And then they smoke them. So that's what I'd love to see. Okay, I love this candle. But because of this wick that formed on the candle previous to it, it's going to be difficult for a fair value gap to form. So we'll need to see something that goes higher. It'll have to end up being something like this. So we'll see if we get it. I'm putting it here on the screen so you guys can see what I'm looking for. And yeah. Okay, I love this inducement candle. The fair value gap will need to happen in here. Jose says it formed a 10-minute bullish fair value gap. Yeah, I think it did, and also a 5-minute. Yes, we did form a bullish 10-minute right here. So in theory, the market should be using this to go higher. So once this low, let's say it enter a short here, guys, and this low gets swept, then I will move my stop to break even once this low gets swept, because then we're trading back into the 10, and if we're bullish, the 10 is going to be used to drive us further up. But there's no fair value gaps that are forming here, unfortunately, that I see just yet. If that changes, you will know. But for now, there's nothing. But look at this chop, guys. Again, I mean, it's great chop. If you're a short-term trader, this is awesome. But if you're trying to like hold swing positions, you're getting real chopped up here. So hopefully, if something happens in this zone, that's where I'm looking for shorts. Let me see what ES is doing here. So ES formed a pretty bullish 10-minute IFEG. Stop should be at break even because we just entered a 10-minute fair value gap 2 that we're trading into and potentially rejecting from. But yeah, no inverses forming here, unfortunately. Check out the 3. Yeah, so I need to see this, guys. I would love to see something like this form. Love, love, love. So listen, guys, and I'm not calling this. This is just speculation, but I believe that there's a potential for a top to form right around here. This candle right here, this 2-minute, this 1-minute OB, possibly. That wick right there, I'm gonna guess is potentially a high. This complete guess, guys, based on another concept I use, but just pay attention to that. There's a tiny 1-minute that might be forming here. Really small. But nope, no fair value gap forming there. Let's check the 2-minute. No. Guys, if I call this high, oh my god, that's gonna be wild. If I mean, again, it's a complete guess. Do not follow me based on this. This is a complete assumption based on another model that is not as accurate as you may think, or that I think. If we end up sweeping this low, guys, I think this will probably go all the way back down. This low right here. Bro, how do I do this shit? Lou, I know. I have to work, Lou. I'm in the middle of a stream, my little thing. Guys, did you not just see me call this wick? I could still be wrong, obviously, but imagine if this holds and we close below this body. The 5 minute still has not closed above the fair value gap. We have a minute left, so we'll see how this candle closes. In theory, if this 5 minute closes above, we should go back up to this high right here. Did this leave equal highs? No, it did not. But I would never take this 5 minute, guys. Never take this 5 minute long. Because if you're in a long, guys, it should have been from here, which I didn't take, but your stop would be at break even and you'd be taking a partial in this 5 minute and leaving runners up to the high of day. Wow, it's holding the 5. See how the candle closes. Okay, so we closed above on the 5, but I think this is going to dump. Check the 2, 3. Damn. Did anybody see me call this 1 minute high? I literally said this is going to be the high. And we never closed back above it. That is freaking wild. Screen time. Screen time. Screen time. If you're in this short, if you took that stupidly, which you never should have taken that, your stop should for sure be at break even now. And then just be aware that this low will probably hit and then we'll go lower. But who knows? Like, rewind the tape 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I literally called this candle. I said, this is probably going to be the high. Again, does that mean you enter a trade? Absolutely not. But I'm just saying. Yeah, and technically, guys, there is no confirmation here because there's no A+ fair value gap. There is a tiny 3 minute here. Is that what I would use to take a short? No. This is just a tough spot to be in. There's nothing that is A+ that formed here for me. And you see why I say if you were in that short to move your stop to break even? Because if I'm wrong, then we're just going to react bullishly out of the bottom of the 5. Which you can see happened here. Still would love to see a 1 minute short if we got it. Luli, I can't right now, Lou. I'm sorry. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I was expecting to see a 1 minute short in this leg. We didn't get it. If we get some kind of a sweep of this high and then we get a really nice short from here, like something like this, you guys could try that. But yeah, I wish you guys the best. I'll move it over to the Discord if you guys are in. Again, link is in the description, but under the live alert section, that is where I will call setups on the day. And again, know what you're doing before you take those confirmations or those setups. But I wish you guys the best, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Jose says stay till 10. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. I got to let this dog out and do stuff.
But I wish you guys the best, and I'll see you on live stream tomorrow morning, all right?